Alright. It's the test. Can I actually fix it, or will it just stay dead forever? Is it working? Are we back? Is this fine? I'm scared to open a game in case the game is gonna just break it. Hello. I don't know why it's been so bad today. It's been really bad though. Really bad today. Really bad lag. I guess we should just stay here for a minute and just test it and just see if the bitrate starts dying or if I'm safe to open a game. Hello! I hope that it is not laggy. Is this fine now? Is it better? Is this better? Is this chillin'? They're not shining. Her hair falls perfectly without her trying. She's so beautiful. I tell her every day. Yeah, I know. When I compliment her, she won't believe me. It's so. I'm gonna try to launch the game again. We're just gonna try it. The delay does seem a lot shorter, but I'm scared because the bitrate has already dropped again, and all I did was launch the game. Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Because when I open the game, the bitrate dies. We're just gonna sit on just chatting for like 30 minutes, and then I'm just gonna dip. Because it's... because I don't think I'm able to run Minecraft today. I don't know what's happening with my computer and my internet, but it is not having a good time. So we're just gonna sit here and talk. We can hang out for a little while. And then I'll just go because I don't know. It's not working. Smiles and stares for a while. Amazing. Just the way you are. Well. Thank you for the lyric, I appreciate it. Okay. Well, chat. Hello. I hope you're excited for the 24-hour stream. I'm just gonna talk my head off for a little while. Tomorrow is our last stream before the 24-hour stream. Tomorrow I'm gonna go live at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is, if you don't want to do the math, it would be tomorrow 3 hours ago. So 3 hours ago from now, but tomorrow. That's when I would start stream. We're gonna have a short little stream, probably only 3 hours or so. And then I won't see you until Saturday at around 2 o'clock Pacific Standard, when I'm going to start the 24-hour. We're going to start with Phasmophobia, pretty much. So I'm just chatting, some Phasmophobia. And then around 5 o'clock Pacific, we're going to drop the merch site. The merch is going to drop. So the merch will be available for you to purchase. That includes the shirt that I'm currently wearing, that I have not spun around and revealed the graphic yet. As well as some other cool stuff. It'll be a fun time. I'm gonna be picking up some more stuff to do our stream with. I'm gonna get a pumpkin and some other stuff. I got some Pokemon tins we can open together. I got some Pokemon tins. Hi, Mallow. We're just gonna talk, because the bitrate gets worse when I open a game. So we're just gonna hang out. How is everybody doing? Hold on, I still want you. I gotta pick up frames so I can hang the little posters. I need to pick up frames so I can hang them up. I haven't opened this yet. I do want to look at them. I've not looked to check the print quality or anything. I was just gonna leave them in here until I went to frame them, but... Am I gonna be awake the whole stream? Yeah. Yeah, the 24-hour, I'm not going to sleep. I will be awake the entire time. Oh, that's pretty. That looks so good. She did such a good job. And they printed really well. I think you guys are going to be satisfied of these posters. They're really cute. The smallest one is really teeny. But it's cute because it means it wouldn't take up too much space if you don't want it to. Which I like. I like that they can be small. Oh, they look beautiful. They look so nice. They printed so pretty. I love them. I love this. And I love the posters because it's like something super cheap. I wanted to have a bunch of different price range merch. If that makes sense. Oh my god, it's Mari. Mari, my dear. Hello, darling. My stream is super delayed, so I am so sorry if I read any messages late. I have been having internet issues all night, so we are now just chatting with a little bit of lag because I cannot play any games. It's not working at all. But hello, welcome. Please feel free to raid and run if you need to take care of yourself. I appreciate you all coming in. I appreciate you all. I promise I see the raid. It is just ridiculously laggy. I am so sorry. I wish there was something I could do to fix it. I have zero clue. So I apologize. I do apologize. But yeah, no, I've been having stream delay all night. I've been fighting it since I started streaming today. It's been really bad. It was like 5 minutes delayed earlier. Now it's about 2 minutes behind, I think. But it's still delayed and I don't know, I can't do anything about it. I've restarted my stream like 5 times. I restarted my computer. Like, I've done everything and my computer just hates me tonight. Like, oh my god, yeah, no, it's like 3 minutes delayed. I just saw the raid go through for you guys. My apologies. Yes, there is an SMP. Well, 2 things. 1, I have a chat SMP, but that's not what we were playing. The chat SMP is through the Discord if you're interested in that. 2, this is a creator SMP / everyone that's friends with Luma SMP. And that's what I was playing on before my stream decided it was gonna hate itself. Sorry. So now we're just hanging out for a little while. I apologize if I get to any of your messages late. I'm trying my best. I'm reading them the second they pop up on my screen. It's taking 3 minutes for you to see what I say back. So I'm really sorry, but I hope you're all having a lovely, wonderful night. Please get some water if you haven't already today. Get some water, get some food. I decided we're just gonna deal with super laggy just chatting as opposed to a game because the game was making it worse. Thank you for the lurky, Mari. I know you're gonna literally see this 3 minutes later when you're already lurking, but I appreciate you and I'm gonna say it out loud anyways. Thank you. Have a wonderful shift tomorrow. It's so weird watching myself talk when I'm not talking anymore. Because it's super delayed. It's so stupid. I wish it wasn't delayed. But, I guess I'll tell everybody, now there's a bunch of you here. tomorrow night is the last stream before the 24-hour stream. Tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to go live for about 3 hours, and we'll just hang out a little bit. And then I'm going to spend the rest of the week between tomorrow and Saturday morning prepping for the 24-hour stream. Getting, like, I want to carve a pumpkin. I have a costume that I got. I got some Pokemon cards we can open. I got the new Pokemon, the Halloween booster packs. I got a bunch of stuff that we can start doing, so I'm gonna prep that. So tomorrow night is the last stream. It's gonna be a little later because I do have work tomorrow, but after I get home from work, I'm going to if I could talk. After I get home from work tomorrow, I'm gonna stream for about 3 hours or so, and then after that, I won't see you until Saturday for the 24-hour stream. If you so choose to come hang out with me, it would be a lovely, lovely time. What's gonna happen is during the 24-hour beautiful stream, we're gonna probably start on just chatting for about 45, so that I can take some time to explain the 24-hour stream and at least my plans for it, and to allow people to get in. And then after that, we're going to start with Phasmophobia, because I owe chat Phasmophobia for hitting 1K on Twitch. I promised them. I promised you. So we're going to be playing Phasmophobia right at the start for probably, hopefully, at least 3 hours, if I'm not terrified. That is my goal, to last at least 3 hours on Phasmophobia until about 5 p.m. And about-ish 5 p.m., I'm going to take a short little break, probably, like maybe 10 minutes, to go grab some stuff, and I'll put a timer on the screen, a countdown, and the merch will drop when the countdown ends. The link will become active. If you are a subscriber in my chat, you get discounts on merch as long as you sign in with your Twitch on the merch website. There's also going to be a site-wide discount for the first week for the merch, so if you would like to get it a little bit cheaper, it will be discounted for subs, as well as just overall on the site for the merch drop. If you want more details specific about my merch, it is in the Discord channel. You can use !Discord or !socials in chat, and you can click on the most recent announcements, where I kind of detailed and went through all the information regarding the merch, how long it's going to be there, what is in the merch, etc. Once the merch drops, I will have a graphic that I will send through Twitter, Blue Sky, Discord, probably Instagram too, and then it'll be there for you to reference later. It'll have a picture of all of the different pieces of merch, as well as the price of all of the merch, kind of like a catalog. Thank you for the follow. The one, I'm assuming that's how you say your name. Welcome in. So there will be a little like catalog that you can reference throughout the stream as it progresses. If you don't want to have the site open the whole time, you're more than welcome to just take a look at the little catalog if that's interesting to you. I'll probably put it on the screen because it'll be a lot easier than showing you the website. Might show you the website. We'll see how I'm feeling. Hello, Mikey. Welcome in. How are you today? I think I need to repin a message saying that I'm stream delayed. So, sorry. So I will do that right now as well. But there will be a little merch catalog for you to look at. The prices are listed, etc. And then I'll post a little bit of a announcement in Discord that you can reference at the stream. That way, if anyone misses anything, or if you're not there when I first announce it, all of the information is in Discord for you, and I won't have to repeat myself 300 times. I might even make a command that says, buy the merch here. If you want all the merch information that she said at the beginning of the stream, please go into the Discord and check the announcements channel. It'll be the easiest way for me. key. Okay, sorry. So, after we drop the merch, I don't really have a plan. I think we're gonna probably play some Valorant afterwards. My goal is to have some kind of point system that would, that's not like a paid point system necessarily. Like, I want follows to count, I want raids to count, I want each of those things to equal a point value, and those points to add up to the total point amount. And then I want to have a list of things that will happen if we hit certain point numbers, because I want everyone to feel like they can participate without having to pay me. It's not a subathon, it is just a 24-hour stream, but I did want to have like a bunch of redeems slash activities that we are going to be doing, like carving a pumpkin and opening little tins and wearing a costume for the rest of the stream, stuff like that. So I would like to try to make a little chart, and I am planning on making a little chart before the stream happens, so that we have like a little something that we can reference and look at. But I'm really excited, and I hope you are too. I don't have this completely fully planned out. I've never done one of these before. I don't know how it's gonna go. I have no expectations, zero at all. In fact, I'm gonna be treating it as if it's a completely normal stream. However, we're gonna try to have some fun with it. I'm gonna try to think of silly little things I can do or bring or get, like little Halloween things. It's not gonna be like a Halloween oriented stream necessarily, but I'm gonna do my best to make it a little bit spookier or related, just a little bit. I don't play horror games, so Phasmophobia is the best you're gonna get, and only for a little while, because I'm gonna be terrified. So instead we'll be playing probably a lot of cozy games. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited, very excited, and I hope you are too. It'll be a fun time. It'll be a fun time. So I'm hopeful, but yeah, the point system, raids, follows, subs, bits, donos, and I want to even have like merch purchases. I want all of it to count into a point system. I just have to figure out how to balance the point system and what is reasonable for what the things, the activities, what the benchmarks are for those. Cause, you know, I just want everyone to be able to participate. You know? I don't want you to be like, damn, I'm gonna buy a poster from Moon instead of a sub, but darn, it doesn't count towards the goal. No. I want everything to count. I want everything to count towards the goal. I want everything to count. That way, everybody is included. Everybody can participate. Everybody can hang out. And that there's no pressure. It's not a subathon timer. It's a set. I will be streaming for 24 hours. I will be awake the whole 24 hours. It's like set in stone. I just want silly little things to do. I think that'd be cute. I think it'd be a little silly. We're definitely carving a pumpkin. Or two. I will probably buy two. At very least, in case I mess up one of them. I was thinking about buying another pumpkin, so that anyone that does any of the things that are point based, I could write their name on the pumpkin in a Sharpie. That could be a little silly, a little fun time. Having your name on a pumpkin behind me could be a little silly, interesting, different. Well, we'll see. We will see. I don't really have ideas or plans beyond that. If any of you have ideas or plans, feel free to let me know, because we do have a little bit of time where I can adjust to those things. before the stream this weekend. It's coming up pretty fast, guys. Pretty fast. I'm super excited. Super nervous, but super excited. I took off time from work for this. I took the weekend off. So, we'll see. We'll see. I took the weekend off just to hang out with you guys. Oh, how cute, right? It'll be like a little... It's like a little adventure. It's like a little sleepover. Except I'm not sleeping. You guys are. Hopefully. Hopefully you go to bed. I will not be going to bed. I thought about it, and I was like, I don't really know how to leave my stream running if I'm sleeping. Honk shoe. So, I have opted to just stay up the whole night. And then immediately pass the fuck out the second the stream's over. Because I will have work on Monday morning. So I'm hoping to finish by Sunday afternoon so that I can just go to bed for 12 hours straight. And then wake up and go to work. I didn't want to take off 3 days. So I only took off 2. And we're just going to see how it goes. So, I guess we'll find out. I guess we'll find out. Why do I want another snack? I have been snacking all night. I had a pancake. I had drumsticks. I had an ice cream. And I had popcorn. This has been, what an interesting time. It's really hard to have a just chatting stream where I'm like responding to you if I can't respond to you because it's delayed. I feel like I can't do anything when the stream's delayed. I don't know what to do. My brain just kind of breaks a little bit. There's a lot of you here who have not seen the merch yet, so here, allow me to show you what I've already revealed on stream. Isn't this adorable? This hat comes in 2 colors. It looks a little orange on stream. It's not orange. It's kind of like a dark red maroon color. Kind of like a cherry color. Looks like a cherry. This hat also comes in like a dark gray / washed out black. Hello, Jiro. I apologize that my response is going to be like 3 minutes late. Stream is currently delayed if you do not read the pin message. But, welcome in. Thank you for coming in with the raid. I hope you're having a lovely, wonderful night. If you need to raid and run, or lurk, or whatever you need to do, it's totally okay and totally fine. But I hope you have a wonderful time. Anyways, this is the hat. I think it's pretty cute. There's hats, there's beanies, there's posters, there's t-shirts, there's hoodies. My hoodie has not come in the mail yet. I bought one to show you guys. I listened to a little bit of Green Day and a little bit of Linkin Park, but besides that, I don't think I know the rest of those people. Also, sorry again for the delayed response. This is the t-shirt. It's pretty cute. Obviously, I can't show you the back, but it has a sick graphic on it that I have not revealed yet, which is why I'm not showing you. But, all will be revealed on Saturday at 5 p.m. But welcome into chat. I hope you're having a wonderful time. I apologize in advance once again if it is delayed. I have been fighting stream delay all night because my internet is not a very happy camper. So we are not playing games anymore. We are just talking, but it is still a little bit delayed. So I do apologize for that. I will do my best to respond to everything. But welcome in. I hope you're having a wonderful time. Sorry. I have a bit of a cough too. Mercy, begging you, please. Mercy, begging you. We're just gonna hang out and vibe to the music and I'll respond when I can. I think that's what I'll do. So you're gonna hear this in 5 minutes, cause yes, the stream delay is like 5 minutes. I have restarted my stream like 6 times. And I restarted my computer. I even unplugged my Ethernet cable. I've done everything. I think there's probably an outage in my area, and it's causing me to have no internet. I really don't know. I have my default settings set to have fairly low bitrate and no intentional stream delay. So it is set to be at like the 15-second delay. Unfortunately, it is not doing that. My stream never acts like this. I literally don't know what is happening today. Again, it has to be like my internet provider or something, because my stream normally runs pretty much perfectly fine. I usually can play full on Valorant, modded Minecraft, whatever I want. I can stream it just fine. I really don't know what is happening, or if someone's downloading everything on the internet, if my sister's downloading like an entire game overnight, or I don't even know what, but something's happening and it's making everything hell. So I don't know. I wish I had the answers for you. I do apologize, but we're just kind of working with it, I guess. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be back to normal and be fixed and fine and everything else, but I kind of gave up. I can only restart the stream so many times. If it gets too bad to where it's like I can't even talk to you at all, then I'll just end and go to bed, because this is impossible. This is ridiculous, honestly. Yeah, I do apologize. Worst part is this like really awkward silence, because I know y'all want to yap and you like would be responding to me. It's just that you haven't heard what I said yet. So it's like you don't have a way to respond. You don't have anything to say to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm sitting here like, but like I know for a damn fact y'all are responding to me. It's just you haven't seen this yet. Rip stream delay. red, but a piece just a little bit bigger now. Our song on the radio, but it don't sound the same. When our friends talk about you, all it does is just tear me down. 'Cause my heart breaks a little when I hear your name. It just sounds like ooh, ooh. Too young, too dumb to realize that I should have brought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take every now my baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. My pride, my ego, my needs, and my selfish ways caused a good, strong woman like you to walk out my life. Now I'll never get to clean up the mess I made. Oh. And now it's me every time I close my eyes. It all just sounds like too young, too dumb to realize that I should have brought you flowers and held your hand. Should have gave you all my hours when I had the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause all you wanted to do was dance. My baby's dancing, but she's dancing with another man. Although it hurts, I'll be the first to say that I was wrong. Oh, I know, probably much too late. Try and apologize for my mistakes. Just want you to know. Hope he buys you flowers. I hope he holds your hand. Give you all his hours when he has the chance. Take you to every party, 'cause I remember how much you love to dance. Do all the things I should have done when I was your man. Do all the things I should have done when I was your man. I know it's a bit late, but thank you for sitting through my ad break. I appreciate it. All I did was lay in bed and cry. What would be funny is I could just start reading you guys a book. Started to move on, and after 2 I felt alright. Then 3 months in, you were off my mind. In month 4 and 5, I was living my life. I was better and didn't have to try not to think of you until you reached out and said, remember that we went for a drive. 2:30 in the morning, I kissed you, it was boring. We held each other tight. Before the night was over, you looked over your shoulder. Oh, I was doing fine. You said, remember that night. Remember that night. I could just read you a book. Should I read you a book? I could just start reading. Do you want to read a book? You could read one of my favorite books if you want to. One of my favorite series is called Fablehaven. It's like a little silly book. I also have a series called Septimus Heap that I really like. Shall I read you a book, chat? I could read you a book. Shall I read you a bit of Fablehaven? Since it's so delayed anyways. Alright. Get cozy. It's lagging too much to talk anyways. If you hate this kind of stuff, you have my permission to currently leave before I start yapping and reading. Okay? It's like a little fantasy book. I like my little books about fairies and shit. For centuries, mystical creatures of all description were gathered to a hidden refuge called Fablehaven to prevent their extinction. The sanctuary is one of the last strongholds of true magic. Enchanting? Absolutely. Exciting? You bet. Safe? Well, actually quite the opposite. Kendra and her brother Seth have no idea that their grandfather is the current caretaker of Fablehaven. Inside the gated woods, ancient laws keep order among greedy trolls, mischievous satyrs, plotting witches, spiteful imps, and jealous fairies. However, when the rules get broken, powerful forces of evil are unleashed, forcing Kendra and Seth to face the greatest challenge of their lives to save their family, Fablehaven, and perhaps the world. Ooh. Guys, this has to be more entertaining than watching me sing to myself, right? Surely. Chapter 1, A Mandatory Vacation. Kendra stared out the side window of the SUV, watching foliage blur past. When the flurry of motion became too much, she looked up ahead and fixed her gaze on a particular tree, following it as it slowly approached, streaked past, and then gradually receded behind her. Was life like that? You could look ahead to the future or back to the past, but the present moved too quickly to absorb? Maybe sometimes. Not today. Today they were driving along an endless two-lane highway through the forested hills of Connecticut. Why didn't you tell us Grandpa Sorensen lived in India? Seth complained. Her brother was 11 and heading into 6th grade. He had grown wary of his handheld video game, evidence that they were on a truly epic drive. Also, sorry in advance. I read really fast in my head, so when I read out loud, sometimes I stumble over my words. I hated when teachers called on me to read out loud. So don't judge me for stumbling. I'm trying to read slower so I don't stumble as much. Mom twisted to face the back seat. It won't be much longer. Enjoy the scenery. I'm hungry, Seth said. Mom started rummaging through a grocery bag full of snack food. Peanut butter and crackers? Seth reached forward for the crackers. Dad, driving, asked for some almond roca. Last Christmas, he had decided that almond roca was his favorite candy, and that he should have some on hand all year long. Nearly 6 months later, he was still honoring his resolution. Do you want anything, Kendra? I'm fine. Kendra returned her attention to the frantic parade of trees. Her parents were leaving on a 17-day Scandinavian cruise with all the aunts and uncles on her mother's side. They were all going for free, not because they'd won a contest. They were going on a cruise because Kendra's grandparents had... Have I never had to say this word out loud before? Okay, died. They died. They died. They died. Sorry. I've never seen this word before. Well, I have, because I've read this book, but I don't think I ever, I think my brain auto-corrected it to died. The first time I read this. Asphyxiated? Asphyxiated. Alright, guys, get cozy. Time to go to nights. We read you to sleepies. Funniest part is, I've been reading for like 5 minutes, but you guys are just now seeing that we're actually reading. So, surprise motherfuckers, we're reading, I guess. Right? Alright, lovelies. No, I don't have any picture books. I'm reading your chats because they're coming in through really late. Okay. Okay. They're not going on the cruise because they won a contest. They're going because her grandparents have passed. Grandma and Grandpa Larson had been visiting relatives in South Carolina. The relatives lived in a trailer. The trailer had some sort of malfunction involving a gas leak, and they all died in their sleep. Long ago, Grandma and Grandpa had specified that when they died, all their children and their spouse were to use an allocated sum of money to go on a Scandinavian cruise. The grandchildren were never invited. Won't you get bored stuck on a boat for 17 days? Kendra asked. Dad glanced at her in the rearview mirror. The food is supposed to be incredible. Snails, fish eggs, the works. We're not all that thrilled about the trip, Mom said sadly. I don't think your grandparents envisioned an accidental death when they made this request, but we'll make the best of it. The ship stops and ports as you go, Dad said deliberately, redirecting the conversation. You get to disembark for part of the time. Is this car ride going to last 17 days? Seth asked. We're nearly there, Dad said. Do we have to stay with Grandma and Grandpa Sorensen? Said Kendra. It'll be fun, Dad said. You should feel honored. They almost never invite anyone to stay with them. Exactly. We barely know them. The hermits. Well, they were my parents, Dad said. Somehow I survived. The road stopped winding through forested hills as it passed through a town. They idled at a stoplight, and Kendra stared at an overweight woman gassing up her minivan. Gassing her up. Yep, she was gassing her up. That makes sense. Also, please, I know this is like 5 minutes delayed, but please let me know if you would like me to switch the music to something else or lower it. Okay, they idled at a stoplight, and Kendra stared at an overweight woman gassing up her minivan. The front windshield of the minivan was dirty, but the woman seemed to have no intention of washing it. Kendra glanced up front. The windshield of the SUV was filthy, smeared with dead bugs, even though Dad had squeegeed it when they last stopped to refuel. They had driven all the way from Rochester today. Rochester? The memory of the funeral made Kendra shiver. There was a wake beforehand where Grandma and Grandpa were showcased in matching caskets. Kendra did not like seeing them wearing makeup. What lunatic had decided that when people died you should hire a taxidermist to fix them up for one final look? She would much rather remember them alive than on a grotesque display in their Sunday best. The Larsons were the grandparents who had been part of her life. They had shared many holidays and long visits. Kendra could hardly remember spending time with Grandma and Grandpa Sorensen. They had inherited some estate in Connecticut around the time her parents were married. The Sorensens had never invited them to visit and rarely made the trek out to Rochester. When they came, it was generally one or the other. They had only come together twice. The Sorensens were nice, but their visits had been too infrequent and brief for real bonding to occur. Kendra knew that Grandma had taught history at some college, and that Grandpa had traveled a lot, running a small importing business. That was about it. Everyone was surprised when Grandpa Sorensen showed up at the funeral. It had been more than 18 months since either of the Sorensens had visited. He had apologized that his wife could not attend because she was feeling ill. There always seemed to be an excuse. Sometimes Kendra wondered if they were secretly divorced. Towards the end of the wake, Kendra overheard Mom telling Grandpa Sorensen to watch the kids. They were in a hallway around a corner from the viewing area. Kendra heard them talking before she reached the corner and paused to eavesdrop. Why can't we stay with Marcy? I'm already tripping again. Hold on. I need to stop reading so fast. The thing is, in my head, I read so fast, I can read this entire book within like 2 hours. That's the problem. I'm like processing it too fast. Okay. Why can't they stay with Marcy? Normally they would, but Marcy's coming on the cruise. Kendra peeked around the corner. Grandpa Sorensen was wearing a brown jacket with patches on the elbows and a bow tie. Where are Marcy's kids going? to her in-laws. What about a babysitter? 2.5 weeks is a long time for a sitter. I remembered you had mentioned having them over for some time. Yes, I recall. Does it have to be late June? Why not July? The cruise is on a time frame. What's the difference? Things just get extra busy around then. I don't know, Kate. I'm out of practice with children. Stan, I don't want to go on this cruise. It was important to my parents, so we're going. I don't mean to twist your arm. Mom sounded on the verge of tears. Grandpa Sorensen sighed. I suppose we could find a place to lock them up. Kendra moved away from the hall at that point. She had quietly worried about staying with Grandpa Sorensen ever since. Having left the town behind, the SUV climbed a steep grade. Then the road curved around a lake and got lost among low, forested hills. Every so often they passed a mailbox. Sometimes a house was visible through the trees. Sometimes there was only a long driveway. They turned onto a narrower road and kept driving. Kendra leaned forward and checked the gas gauge. Dad, you're under a quarter of a tank, she said. We're almost there. We'll fill up after we drop you kids off. Can't we come on the cruise? Seth asked. We could hide in the lifeboats. You can sneak us food. You kids will have much more fun with Grandma and Grandpa Sorensen, Mom said. Just you wait. Give it a chance. Here we are, Dad said. They pulled off the road onto a gravel driveway. Kendra could see no sign of a house, only the driveway angling out of the sight of the trees. Tires crunching over gravel, they passed several signs advertising that they were on private property. Other signs warded off trespassers. They came to a low metal gate that hung open but could be shut to prevent access. This is the longest driveway in the world, Seth complained. The farther they advanced, the less conventional the signs became. Private property and no trespassing gave way to beware of .12 gauge and trespassers will be persecuted. These signs are funny, Seth said. More like creepy, Kendra muttered. Rounding another bend, the driveway reached a tall wrought iron fence topped with fleur-de-lis. What is your question? And stream is delayed by like 5 minutes, so you're not even gonna hear this. Ask away, but if I am uncomfortable with the question, I will politely pass. Just fair warning. The double gate stood open. The fence extended off into the trees as far as Kendra could see in either direction. Near the fence stood a final sign. Certain death awaits. Is Grandpa Sorensen paranoid? Kendra asked. The signs are a joke, Dad said. He inherited this land. I'm sure the fence came with it. After they passed through the gate, there was still no house in sight, just more trees and shrubs. They drove across a small bridge spanning a creek and climbed a shallow slope. There, the trees ended abruptly, bringing the house into view across a vast front lawn. The house was big, but not enormous, with lots of gables and even a turret. After the wrought iron gate, Kendra had expected a castle or a mansion. Constructed out of dark wood and stone, the house looked old but in good repair. This girl, when I was playing a video game, we started talking. We got into it. Days we were chilling. We talked for the entire night for like 5 hours, 3 hours a day. She started responding to my text immediately after that. I was into her, we kept friendly during our chats, flirted, bantered with each other a little. She was here, she had gone, or I cooked. Okay. I highly recommend that you try to message her during the day, first of all, because she wants to make sure that you aren't just into her for a flingy thing, you know what I mean? Texting only at night's a little sussy, so text her during the day. Try to remember something you talked about when you talked last. If she mentioned, like, wanting to go shopping, ask her how shopping went, or if she has gone shopping yet, something like that. Relate back to the previous conversation, and then see how she responds. That's my best advice. But every girl's different, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. She might just be testing the waters or playing hard to get or trying not to give you too much attention, stuff like that. Hope you're all cozy, by the way, listening to this book. Okay. The grounds were more impressive. A bright flower garden bloomed in front of the house. Manicured hedges and a fish pond added character to the yard. Behind the house loomed an immense brown barn, at least 5 stories tall, topped by a weather vane. I love it, Mom said. I wish we were all staying. You've never been here? Kendra asked. No. Your father came here a couple of times before we were married. They go the extra mile to discourage visitors, Dad said. Me, Uncle Carl, Aunt Sophie, none of us have spent much time here. I don't get it. You kids are lucky. You'll have a blast. If nothing else, you can spend your time playing in the pool. Hello, motherfucker. They pulled to a stop outside the garage. The front door opened and Grandpa Sorensen emerged, followed by a tall, lanky man with large ears and a thin, older woman. Mom, Dad, and Seth got out of the car. Kendra sat and watched. Grandpa had been clean-shaven at the funeral, but now he wore a stubbly white beard. He was dressed in faded jeans, work boots, and a flannel shirt. Kendra studied the older woman. She was not Grandma Sorensen. Despite her white hair streaked with a few black strands, her face had ageless quality. Her almond eyes were black as coffee. Her features suggested a hint of Asian ancestry. Short and slightly stooped, she retained an exotic beauty. Dad and the lanky man opened the back of the SUV and began removing suitcases and duffel bags. You coming, Kendra? Dad asked. Kendra opened the door and dropped to the gravel. Just place the things inside, Grandpa was telling Dad. Dale will take them up to the bedroom. Where's Mom? Dad asked. Visiting your Aunt Edna. In Missouri? Edna's dying. Kendra had barely ever heard of Aunt Edna, so the news did not mean much. She looked up at the house. She noticed that the windows had bubbly glass. Bird nests clung under the eaves. They all migrated to the front door. Dad and Dale carried the larger bags. Seth held a small duffel bag and a cereal box. The cereal box was his emergency kit. It was full of odds and ends he thought would come in handy for an adventure: rubber bands, a compass, granola bars, coins, a squirt gun, a magnifying glass, plastic handcuffs, string, a whistle. This is Lena, our housekeeper, Grandpa said. The older woman nodded and gave a little wave. Dale helps me tend to the grounds. Aren't you pretty? Lena said to Kendra. You must be around 14. Lena had a faint accent that Kendra could not place. In October. An iron knocker hung on the front door, a squinting goblin with a ring in its mouth. The thick door had bulky hinges. Kendra entered the house. Glossy wood floored the entry hall. A wilting arrangement of flowers rested on a low table in a white ceramic vase. A tall brass coat rack stood off to one side beside a black bench with a high carved back. On the wall hung a painting of a fox hunt. Kendra could see into another room where a huge embroidered throw rug covered most of the wooden floor. Like the house itself, the furnishings were acquainted but in good repair. The couches and chairs are mostly of the sort you would expect to see while visiting a historical site. Dale was heading up the stairs with some of the bags. Lena excused herself and went to another room. Your home is beautiful, Mom gushed. I wish we had time for a tour. Maybe when you get back, Grandpa said. Thanks for letting the kids stay with you, Dad said. Our pleasure. Don't let me keep you. We're on a pretty tight schedule, Dad apologized. You kids be good and do whatever Grandpa Sorensen tells you, Mom said. She hugged Kendra and Seth. Kendra felt tears seeping into her eyes. She fought them back. Have a fun cruise. We'll be back before you know it, Dad said, putting an arm around Kendra and tussling Seth's hair. Waving, Mom and Dad walked out the door. Kendra went to the doorway and watched them climb into the SUV. Dad honked as they drove off. Kendra fought back tears again as the SUV vanished into the trees. Mom and Dad were probably laughing, relieved to be off by themselves for the longest vacation of their married lives. She could practically hear their crystal goblets clinking. And here she stood, abandoned. Kendra closed the door. Seth, oblivious as ever, was examining the intricate pieces of a decorative chess set. Grandpa stood in the entry hall, watching Seth and looking politely uncomfortable. Leave the chess pieces alone, Kendra said. They look expensive. Oh, he's all right, Grandpa said. By the way he said it, Kendra could tell he was relieved to see Seth setting the pieces down. Shall I show you to your room? They followed Grandpa up the stairs and down a carpeted hall to the foot of a narrow wooden staircase leading up to a white door. Grandpa continued on the creaking steps. We don't often have guests, especially children, Grandpa said over his shoulder. I think you'll be most comfortable in the attic. They're getting addict, guys. That's crazy. He opened the door, and they entered after him. Braced for cobwebs and torture devices, Kendra was relieved to find that the attic was a cheerful playroom. Spacious, clean, and bright, the long room had a pair of beds, shelves crowded with children's books, freestanding wardrobes, tiny dressers, a unicorn rocking horse, multiple toy chests, and a hen in a cage. Seth went straight for the chicken. Cool! He poked a finger through the slender bars, trying to touch the orange and gold feathers. Careful, Seth, Kendra warned. He'll be fine, Grandpa said. Goldilocks is more of a house pet than a barnyard hen. Your grandmother usually takes care of her. I figured you kids wouldn't mind filling in while she's gone. You'll need to feed her, clean her cage, and collect her eggs. She lays eggs? Seth looked astonished and delighted. An egg or two a day if you keep her well fed, Grandpa said. He pointed to a white plastic bucket full of kernels near the cage. A scoop in the morning and another in the evening should take care of her. You'll want to change the lining of her cage every couple days and make sure she has plenty of water. Every morning we give her a tiny bowl of milk, Grandpa winked. That's the secret behind her egg production. Can we ever take her out? The hen had moved close enough for Seth to stroke her feathers with one finger. Just put her back afterwards. Grandpa bent down to put a finger in the cage, and Goldilocks instantly pecked at it. Grandpa withdrew his hand. Never liked me much. Some of these toys look expensive, Kendra said, standing behind an ornate Victorian dollhouse. Toys are meant to be played with, Grandpa said. Do your best to keep them in decent shape, and that will be good enough. Seth moved from the hen cage to a small piano in the corner of the room. He banged on the keys, and the notes that clanged sounded different from what Kendra would have expected. It was a little harpsichord. Consider this room your space, Grandpa said. Within reason, I'll not bother you to pick things up in here, so long as you treat the rest of the house with respect. Okay, Kendra said. I also have some unfortunate news. We are in the height of tick season. You kids ever heard of Lyme disease? Seth shook his head. I think so, Kendra said. It was originally discovered in the town of Lyme, Connecticut, not too far from here. You can catch it from tick bites. The woods are full of ticks this year. What does it do? Seth asked. Grandpa paused for a solemn moment. Starts out as a rash. Before long, it can lead to arthritis, paralysis, and heart failure. Besides, disease or not, you don't want ticks burrowing into your skin to drink your blood. You try to pull them off and their head detaches, hard to get out. That's disgusting, Kendra exclaimed. Grandpa nodded grimly. They're so small you can hardly see them, at least until they fill up on blood. Then they swell to the size of a grape. Anyhow, point is, you kids are not allowed to enter the woods under any circumstances. Stay on the lawn. Break that rule and your outdoor privileges will be revoked. Do we understand each other? Kendra and Seth nodded. You also need to keep out of the barn. Too many ladders and rusty old pieces of farm equipment. Same rules apply to the barn as apply to the woods. Set foot in there, and you will spend the rest of your stay in this room. Okay, Seth said, crossing the room to where a little easel stood on a paint-spattered tarp. A blank canvas rested on the easel. Additional blank canvases leaned against the wall nearby, besides shelves stocked with jars of paint. Can I paint? I'm telling you twice, you have the run of this room. Just try not to destroy it. I have many chores to attend to, so I may not be around much. There should be plenty of toys and hobbies to keep you busy. What about a TV? Seth asked. No TV or radio. Rules of the house. If you need anything, Lena will never be far. He indicated a purple cord hanging against the wall near one of the beds. Tug the cord if you need her. In fact, Lena will be up with your supper in a few minutes. Won't we eat together? Kendra asked. Some days. Right now I need to visit the East Hayfield. Might not be back until late. How much land do you own? Asked Seth. Grandpa smiled. More than my share. Let's leave it at that. I'll see you two kids in the morning. He turned to leave and then paused, reaching into his coat pocket. Turning back, he handed Kendra a tiny key ring, holding 3 miniature keys of varying sizes. Each of these keys fits something in this room. See if you can figure out what each key unlocks. Grandpa Sorensen walked out of the room, closing the door behind him. Kendra listened as he descended the stairs. She stood at the door, waiting, and then gently tried the handle. It turned slowly. She eased the door open, peered down the empty stairway, and then closed it. At least he had not locked them in. Seth had opened a toy chest and was examining the contents. The toys were old-fashioned but in excellent condition. Soldiers, dolls, puzzles, stuffed animals, wooden blocks. Kendra wandered over to a telescope by a window. She peered into the eyepiece, positioned the telescope to look through a window pane, and began twisting the focus knobs. She could improve the focus but couldn't get it quite right. She stopped fiddling with the knobs and examined the window. The panes were made out of bubbly glass, like those in the front of the house. The images were being distorted before they even reached the telescope. Hello, Nad. I'm doing well. Chat is a little bit delayed today, unfortunately. I apologize. So we're just reading. Unfastening a latch, Kendra pushed the window open. She had a good view of the forest east of the house, illuminated by the golden hues of the setting sun. Moving the telescope closer to the window, she spent some time mastering the knobs, bringing the leaves on the trees below into crisp focus. "Let me see," Seth said. He was standing beside her. "Pick up those toys first." A mess of toys lay piled near the open chest. "Grandpa said we could do what we want in here." "Without making it a disaster? You're already wrecking the place." "I'm playing. This is a playroom." "Remember how Mom and Dad said we need to pick up after ourselves?" "Remember how Mom and Dad aren't here?" "I'll tell." "How? Stick a note in a bottle? You won't even remember by the time they get back." Kendra noticed a calendar on the wall. "I'll write it on the calendar." "Good, and I'll look through the telescope while you do that." "This is the one thing in the room I was doing. Why don't you find something else?" "I didn't notice the telescope. Why don't you share?" "Don't Mom and Dad also tell us to share?" "Fine," Kendra said. "It's all yours, but I'm closing the window. Bugs are coming in." "Whatever." She shut the window. Seth looked into the eyepiece and started twisting the focus knobs. Kendra took a closer look at the calendar. It was from 1953. Each month was accompanied by an illustration of a fairyland place. She turned the calendar to June. Today was June 11th. The days of the week did not match up, but she could still count down to when her parents would return. They would be back June 28th. "This stupid thing won't even focus," Seth complained. Kendra smiled. Chapter 2. How are you enjoying the story? Are you interested yet? There's like 5 books to this series. I love fantasy like this. It's like my favorite. Okay. Shall we continue? I say we shall. Chapter 2. Collecting Clues. The next morning, Kendra sat at a breakfast across from her grandfather. A wooden clock on the wall above him read 8:53. Reflected sunlight flashed in the corner of her eye. Seth was using his butter knife to bounce sun rays. She was not seated close enough to the window to retaliate. "Nobody likes sun in their eyes, Seth," Grandpa said. Seth stopped. "Where's Dale?" he asked. "Dale and I got up a few hours ago. He's out working. I'm just here to keep you company on your first morning." Lena set a bowl in front of Seth and another in front of Kendra. "What's this?" Seth asked. "Cream of wheat," Lena replied. "Sticks to your ribs," Grandpa added. Seth probed the cream of wheat with his spoon. "What's in it, blood?" "Berries from the garden and homemade raspberry preserves," Lena said, placing a platter on the table containing toast, butter, a pitcher of milk, a bowl of sugar, and a bowl of jam. Kendra sampled the cream of wheat. It was delicious. The berries and raspberry preserves sweetened it to perfection. "This is good," Seth said. "Just think, Dad is eating snails." "You kids remember the rules about the woods?" Grandpa said. "And to stay out of the barn," Kendra said. "Good girl. There's a swimming pool out back that we got ready for you. All the chemicals are balanced and whatnot. There are gardens to explore. You can always play in your room. Just respect the rules and we'll get along fine." "When is Grandma coming back?" Kendra asked. Grandpa glanced down at his hands. That depends on your Aunt Edna. Could be next week, could be a couple months. Good thing Grandma got over her illness, Kendra said. Illness? The one that kept her from going to the funeral. Right, yeah. She was still a little under the weather when she left for Missouri. Grandpa was acting a little peculiar. Kendra wondered if he was uncomfortable around children. I'm sad we missed her, Kendra said. She's sorry too. Well, I better be off. Grandpa had not eaten anything. He pushed his chair back, stood up, and stepped away from the table, rubbing his palms against his jeans. If you swim, don't forget to wear sunblock. I'll see you kids later. At lunch? Seth asked. Probably not until supper. Lena will help you with anything you need. Then he left the room. Dressed in her swimsuit, a towel over one shoulder, Kendra stepped through the door onto the back porch. She carried a handheld mirror she had found in the nightstand on her bed. The handle was a mother of pearl, studded with rhinestones. The day was a bit humid, but the temperature was pleasant. She walked to the railing of the porch and gazed over the gorgeously manicured backyard. Paths of white stones meandered among flower beds, hedgerows, vegetable gardens, fruit trees, and flowering plants. Tangled grapevines curled along suspended lattices. All of the flowers seemed to be in full bloom. Kendra had never seen such brilliant blossoms. Seth was already swimming. The pool had a black bottom, and it was fringed with rocks to make it seem like a pond. Kendra hurried down the steps and started in a path towards the pool. The garden teemed with life. Hummingbirds darted among the foliage, wings nearly invisible as they hovered. Huge bumblebees with fuzzy abdomens buzzed from one blossom to another. A stunning variety of butterflies fluttered about on tissue paper wings. Kendra passed a small, waterless fountain featuring a statue of a frog. She paused as a large butterfly alighted on the rim of an empty bird bath. It had huge wings, blue, black, and violet. She had never seen a butterfly with such vivid coloring. Of course, she had never visited a world-class garden. The house was not quite a mansion, but the grounds were fit for a king. No wonder Grandpa Sorensen had so many chores. The path finally deposited Kendra at the pool. Variegated flagstones paved the poolside area. There were a few recliners and a circular table with a big umbrella. Seth leaped from a stone outcropping into the swimming pool, legs curled up, and hit the water with a big splash. Kendra set her towel and mirror on the table and grabbed a bottle of sunblock. She smeared the white cream over her face, arms, legs, until it all disappeared into her skin. While Seth was swimming underwater, Kendra picked up the mirror. She angled the face so it reflected sunlight onto the water. When Seth surfaced, she made sure the bright splotch of sunlight covered his face. "Hey!" he shouted, swimming away from her. She kept the glare from the mirror on the back of his head. Gripping the side of the pool, Seth turned to look at her again, throwing up a hand and squinting to ward off the light. He had to look away. Kendra laughed. "Cut it out," Seth said. "Oh, you don't like that?" "Quit it. I won't do it anymore. Grandpa already yelled at me." Kendra sat the mirror on the table. "That mirror is a lot brighter than a butter knife," she said. "I bet it already did permanent damage to your retinas." "I hope so. Then I'll sue you for $1 billion. "Good luck. I have about 100 in the bank. It might be enough for you to buy some eye patches." He swam towards her angrily, and Kendra walked forward towards the edge of the pool. As he started climbing out, she shoved him back in. She was almost a full head taller than Seth and could usually handle him in a fight. Although, if they ended up wrestling, he was pretty squirmy. Seth changed tactics and started splashing her, making quick scooping motions across the surface of the pool. The water felt cold, and Kendra recoiled at first, then leapt over Seth into the water. After the initial shock, she swiftly grew accustomed to the temperature, stroking over the shallow end away from her brother. One second. That's crazy. The delay is so long right now. I just watched us finish the first chapter. And we're about to finish the second chapter. That's such a crazy long delay. Okay. Okay. After the initial shock, she swiftly grew accustomed to the temperature, stroking over to the shallow end away from her brother. He chased her, and they ended up in a splash fight. Locking his hands, Seth swung his arms in wide arcs, skimming the top of the water. Kendra pushed at the water with both hands, a churning motion that generated smaller but more focused splashes. Soon, they grew tired. It was hard to win a water fight when both participants were already soaking wet. "Let's have a race," Kendra suggested as the splashing subsided. They raced back and forth across the pool. First, they raced freestyle, then backstroke, breaststroke, and sidestroke. After that, they created handicaps, like racing with no arms, or hopping across the width of the shallow end on one foot. Kendra usually won, but Seth was faster at backstroke and had some of the handicap races in the bag. When Kendra grew bored, she got out of the pool. Walking towards the table to retrieve her towel, she stroked her long hair, enjoying the rubbery texture as the wetness made the strands cling together. Seth climbed on top of a big rock near the deep end. "Watch this can opener." He jumped with one leg straight and the other bent. "Good job," Kendra said to placate him when he surfaced. Shifting her gaze to the table, Kendra froze. Hummingbirds, bumblebees, and butterflies swirled in the air above the handheld mirror. Several other butterflies and a couple of large dragonflies actually rested on the face of the mirror